Hey YouTubers and Patriots, voice of the composer here. Welcome back to my channel. It's early Sunday morning. I'm actually doing this video at the tail end of my overnight shift. And I normally don't talk about country music. I'm not into country music or rap, anything like that. But this article, this situation with Luke Combs, pertains to the series. And this is from the Washington Post, was published on February 19th. And it has a timestamp of 5 a.m. It's by Emily Yar, Y-H-A-R is the last name. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Now, the big to-do here is that Luke Combs was seen on a few videos playing his guitar, and he had a sticker on the side of his guitar that featured the Confederate battle flag. And there were some Confederate battle flags in the video, or the videos. And he's come out and he's apologized, saying that he didn't mean to be insensitive. He understands the error of his ways. So I'm just going to read you parts of the article, give my commentary here. I don't have time to read the whole thing because it's quite a lengthy article, so I'll just kind of skim through it. It says here, since Morgan Wallin was caught on camera saying the N-word 2 weeks ago and subsequently dropped from the radio and suspended by his record label, conversations about the fallout have consumed the country music industry. The issue isn't just about one singer, but Wallin casually tossing off a racial slur was an embarrassing, very public example of how country music has long been a place where people of color have been routinely excluded and felt unwelcome. Really. The lack of diversity, evident on record label rosters and in concert crowds, on radio charts, and in Nashville boardrooms, has existed for decades. Early in the 20th century, executives categorized music from black country artists as, quote-unquote, race records, effectively removing them from the format. Well, let's step back for a moment. Sounds like you're trying to merge the Confederate battle flag here with the record industry and country music. These are three separate things, entirely three separate things. And here's a quote, I think the only way that we can really move forward is by deconstructing our view of what the genre is built on and acknowledging the fact that at its roots is racism and cultural appropriation and completely destroying that mentality going forward. Country star Maren Morris said Wednesday during a segment on CBS This Morning. And here's a quote, Morgan is a symptom of a much bigger disease of what our genre is right now. Where is the evidence of this? You know, I've done a lot of videos talking about what happened January 6th and this whole controversy over the Confederate battle flag, which I know has been going on for, 150, 160 years? But honestly, folks, where's the evidence that country music is exclusive? Did you have record labels back in the day that excluded certain artists? Yes. Well, guess what? That happened across the board. It happened across the board. And yes, you did have things called, quote-unquote, race records. But CBS Records, for example, were the first to come to the table, step up to the plate, and offer a classical music catalog of African-American or black composers. In fact, I had a copy of an album that had this sleeve on the inside of it that featured some of these releases they were going to do of African-American or black composers. While plenty of contemporary country singers have stayed silent following Nashville's typical guidance to avoid controversial topics, others are stepping forward to discuss the elephant in the room. The CBS piece aired the same day Morris participated in a virtual country radio seminar Q&A with Luke Combs, which was originally billed as a conversation about two top stars' careers, but was changed to focus on accountability. Very interesting. Seems like somebody was trying to drive or steer the narrative. Now, some of the spotlight in particular was on Combs, one of the genre's biggest success stories, in recent years, who was just named to Time's 100, quote-unquote, next list. Every so often, photos of Combs circulated on social media that show him with a Confederate battle flag. Oh my God. A Confederate battle flag sticker, on his guitar, as well as 2015 music video where the flag appears repeatedly. The pictures resurfaced again this month after Combs released a duet with Billy Strings called The Great Divide that urges unity. Once again, they're merging all these three things together. The Confederate battle flag, what happened with the recording industry back in the day, country music. Here's a quote for you. There is no excuse for those images, Combs said when moderator and NPR pop music critic Anna Powers brought up the photos. Not Anna, but Ann Powers brought up the photos. As a younger man, that was an image that I associated to mean something else, and as I've grown in my time as an artist and as the world has changed drastically in the last 5-7 years, well, I wonder why, I am now aware how painful that image can be to someone else. Any symbol can be interpreted 100 different ways. Okay, somebody can find a can of Coca-Cola racist. Seriously, somebody can find a can of Coca-Cola racist. When I say RC Cola, what do you think of? Come on, think about it. What do you think of when I say RC Cola? Rednecks, right? People living in the South. People who don't have a lot of money. RC Cola is the cheaper version of Coca-Cola, I guess. As I said, I'm going to skim through some of the article here. So it goes on to say, Combs, Morris, and Powers acknowledged that as three white people talking about race, it was a quote-unquote incomplete conversation. But they discussed myriad topics, including ways to evaluate black musicians and industry staffers and recognizing their own privileges of white singers. Okay, sounds like white guilt to me. So now we're throwing in the record labels with country music and the Confederate battle flag, and now we're going to bring in white guilt. You should feel guilty for your success. You know what I think, folks? I think the root of this is jealousy. These people see Luke Combs' success, and they are envious as hell of it. So what do? They go after him because they saw a Confederate battle flag on his guitar in a music video. Grow up, people. That's really what this is all about. It's about jealousy. How many times did Luke Combs get rejected by record labels? How many gigs did he have to play in crappy clubs or bars till 2 or 3 in the morning doing songs or cover of songs he didn't want to do? I'm thinking quite a bit. I don't think his success happened overnight. So it goes on to say in their quote, if this is a family and you love it, call it out when it's bad so you can rid the diseased parts so we can move forward, she said. This whole we're a family, we're protecting our own, it's protecting white people, it's not protecting black people. Now, as I back up here, I believe this was said by, I'm looking at the names here, like I said, I'm skipping through the article, Williams. Lady named Williams, I think I mentioned her name. Combs agreed. There is change that needs to happen. He said, I want it to be a family that everyone can feel like they're a part of. Okay, well. Morris and Williams were also part of a wide-ranging discussion Sunday night on singer-songwriter Rizzy Palmer's Apple Music radio show called Color Me Country, which focuses on the Black, Indigenous, and Latino roots of country music. Joined by country singer Cam, the group discussed being allies as well as how to change the culture of the format. Palmer detailed why she left her label and ultimately Nashville after she released her debut country album in 2007, trying to please the industry and make everyone happy while her motives and authenticity were constantly scrutinized as a black woman who felt like I was, quote-unquote, chipping away little by little every day at my soul, she said, being a little overdramatic. Quote, you can play the game, do all the right things, and nothing happens for you. Then you can stand up for yourself and feel good and be able to look yourself in the mirror and still nothing happens. So I personally choose to be the person who can look in the mirror and say things, Palmer said. She brought up Mickey Guyton, one of the few black artists signed to a major country label. Aha, so we have a black artist who was signed to a major country label, who recently had a breakout moment with the release of 2 powerfully candid songs, including the Grammy-nominated Black Like Me. Well, maybe the country music industry isn't as racist after all as people are saying. Like I said, sounds like jealousy. Williams concurs with all this sentiment. As I said, skimming through this, she said, quote unquote, years from now, we're going to look back on this, on our children's children will look back on this and want an accurate historical record. So for no other reason, yes, it's important that Mickey's doing that. It's important that people like me are willing to say, yes, here's the truth about the industry. Morris and Cam talked about the importance of difficult conversations and speaking up as allies, as Cam discussed working with the Grammys on diversity and being told it was, quote-unquote, fine and normal that the country music categories had no people of color. We can't play this game anymore of pretending anything's fine. We have to be okay with being uncomfortable. Aha, there we go. They want you to feel uncomfortable because you're white. They want you to feel uncomfortable because you're successful. Why? Because they're jealous, because they haven't gotten off their lazy rear end to try themselves. 9 times out of 10, that's what's happened. I'm not saying that people have bad luck, okay, or that they're not going to face obstacles where they're going to be rejected by the record label or what have you. But guess what? That happens in the music industry all the time. Okay, I have a YouTube channel, right? I don't have a lot of views on my YouTube channel right now. Do you see me complaining? Do you see me comparing myself to somebody like Salty Cracker? Hell no. Because my channel is different from Salty Cracker's channel. It has its own qualities that people like, that people are attracted to. So why should I be jealous of Salty Cracker's channel? I shouldn't be. I should be happy with what I have. See, if people were more happy with what they have, they'd be more content. You know, there's a great episode of The Twilight Zone called Cavender is Coming. And Carol Burnett stars in this episode. So this is Carol Burnett in her early days. And she's this down on her luck single girl who lives in a single apartment. And she's always behind on the rate, she's always behind on her rent. She's always behind on the rent. And she loves going bowling, I think, once or twice a week on Thursdays. And so they decide to send an angel down from heaven to fix her life and give her everything she ever wanted, right? Well, in the end, she tells the angel, I don't want any of this. I'm happy the way I am. She's, discombobulated, whatever the words that they used in the episode. And she said, yeah, me behind on my rent and going from job to job. But that's for me. And in the end, the angel says, and her name, the character's name was Miss Krebs. And in the end, the angel says, you know what? You have an abundance of wealth. You have an abundance of wealth. Money isn't always going to make you happy. Or something to that effect was said at the end of the episode. But that's exactly what's going on here with this issue with Luke Combs. They're trying to stir up controversy because they've seen a Confederate battle flag. Well, the Confederate battle flag's been around for 150, 160 years. I mean, we can still have that conversation about the Confederate battle flag. But you're going to combine the country music industry with the record labels and the Confederate battle flag. To me, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't sell. Just like country rap doesn't sell. So I thought I'd come here and share this article with you. Check it out. Once again, the title of the article is Luke Combs Apologizes for Confederate Flag Imagery as Tough Conversations Consume Nashville. And this is Voice of the Composer saying peace out. I'll catch you next time. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country. And don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram and hashtag Jason Composes. Leave comments below. And now you can reach me on Twitter, Voice of the Composer at Twitter. Have a good night, everybody. See you later.